What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the More or Lezz Podcast. Welcome back, fam. We have Joi Miner with us today. We have our nationally best-selling author. Titles like Stud and Stilettos. We got A Good Girl with Bad Habits. Side Piece Chronicles. She got Hops.
Like, 1 and 2. I'm waiting on 3.
Bang! Yeah. Wow. So we are so happy that you are with us. First of all, thank you. Thank you for coming and sitting with us for a little bit.
No, thank y'all. Look, I was the one to say, hey, you're interested in having me on your podcast? Because, I just watched and was like, oh, that's my type of shit. Okay.
Look, we trying to have the real conversations. We trying to dig into some stuff.
Yeah, it's the questions I get asked all the time.
Yeah, okay. So we can even start there. There was a conversation we kind of started up, but we had to get it on the camera. So tell us a little bit about the inspiration of some of your titles. So like we were talking about Stud and Stilettos. Where did that come from?
Okay, I have a friend, Zenobia Ranger. She's dope as hell. She would be seen as a femme too.
Okay.
And she told me, she was like, yeah, they call me a Stud and Stilettos. And this was before I came out. And I was like, that makes sense, because she's extremely dominant, but she's a girl.
Okay.
And when I came out, they were like, are you a femme? Well, you ain't a stud. You ain't a no label. Well, a no label is still a label. But if you want to call me something, call me a Stud and Stilettos. And it's like, what does that mean? What does it sound like it means?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a boy in a dress. Boxing, basketball, football, racing. I watch it all. I can cook. I have children. We'll get into that later.
Okay, we can.
We'll get into that later. But at the end of the day, I'm the dominant in my relationships. Not aggressively so, because I'm not. A lot of femmes are just super aggressive, and I can switch between. If I trust you, I have no problem being submissive. But I gotta trust you. And I mean, I really gotta trust you.
Yeah.
Because I'll cuss you, slap the hell out, and read your soul for you. Sideways. So all right, let's tee to this line. I say that, I'm an alpha, and alphas that are aware of their power don't throw that shit around. I ain't gotta tell you I'm an alpha. I walk in a room, I'm an alpha. There's no question. And I can sit in my corner and be who I am and not apologize for it.
True.
But then there are the ones that want to throw their power around where you're weak, and you're showing that because you're trying to, intimidate people. I ain't got to intimidate you. I can look at you and intimidate you.
I know that's right. Period. Just being yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And will.
And I have people tell me that, like, when I meet you, I know you ain't with the bullshit. I was like, but I ain't say nothing. They were like, you ain't have to.
Right. You wear that. That's that energy. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That alpha energy.
That comes with being comfortable in your skin. And, so that's where when I wrote the book, A Stud and Stilettos, it's actually based loosely on my life. At the time, I was engaged to this girl, and when I tell you she's Shayna through and through, that abusive, controlling idiot, she's that. Tried to kill me, actually, in front of my kids. So she's facing criminal charges for that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, when I was writing Shayna, like, I was going through what Sienna was going through with Shayna.
Oh wow.
And the crazy thing is, Candy, the woman she ended up with, is the other side of who I am. So I learned to love myself. Like the poem that she recited in the book, that's one of my poems.
You're not just a writer, you're a poet.
I started out as a poet, actually. I've been a poet for 20 years. My first book, 2003, was a poetry collection.
That's so dope.
And yeah, so I started out performing, won slams, and then after a while I was like, the stage, it's for me because my platform gives other artists the ability to be seen, and people know me. So, okay, if Joy's doing a show, I'm coming to the show, and then Joy's gonna host it, but these other artists get to be showcased.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was on bed rest with my first daughter, my oldest daughter, and I was about to lose my mind. Because I'm one of those, I'm always moving, always shaking. I was in college, had to drop out of college, ended up on bed rest, and my brother said, okay, you got 800 poems, 1,000 poems. If you put these poems together, he was like, put them together, I'll help you publish a book.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, the whole pregnancy, I was, putting these poems together, and I released that book, and she was like at my knee, just barely learning how to walk at my release party. Like, we have pictures of that. And I was like, okay, I have a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I started traveling and performing. Her dad at the time, well, he's still her dad, I guess, because he's y'all see this blink, right?
Right.
I mean,
hashtag at the time.
Yeah, he contributed to her creation, so we'll give him that. That's about all he was good for.
Right.
But is he a character in one of your books as well?
Yeah, actually. He's in A Good Girl with Bad Habits. That was my first novel. Okay. And that was based on what I went through after, leaving him. Like, he was the abusive ex-husband in that. Mm-hmm. And my second daughter's dad was the Vincent character in that book.
That's what I'm talking about. Make stories off of life experience.
Oh, girl.
Yes.
But that's one thing. That's one thing I love about your books, because they're so in tune. They're so realistic. And I'm like, what's she doing in my life? How do you know life? How do you know I went through that? So I'm like, this has got to be somebody's real life, because it is just too on point. And I love them. I love them to death.
Thank you. My tagline is, my life is a Joi Miner novel, because my life is really a Joi Miner novel. Mm-hmm. Like, when they said that they were calling the character in A Good Girl, Bad Habits sitcom, one of my friends told me that. She was like, girl, your life is a goddamn sitcom. Like, we're just gonna call you sitcom. Because the shit that happens to me, it's like, where the cameras?
Wow.
Somebody should be recording this.
That reminds me, you said something happened to you today that many would not believe. And we had to wait to hear the story so we can hear it fresh. Like, we got to react.
We got to share it with the world.
Okay, so craziest shit ever. Okay, so y'all have read Hops, right? Mm-hmm. So let me tell y'all, let me give you some backstory. So have you read Turned Out?
I think I have, but I think it's been like a while back.
Yeah, okay, so I just released Twa, part 3 of that one. Mm-hmm. But I wrote Five for Dinner in January, like November, December, January. Mm-hmm. January, my daughter turned 19. Okay. February, she lost her fucking mind.
That Capricorn.
Yeah, I told her, I said, you made it 19 years before your daddy's defective ass DNA decided to kick in.
Oh God.
But
it was a delay.
Child, a long drawn out delay. But because I don't fancy silver bracelets, and even though I would be in heaven in prison because it's a oasis in there, but them bitches ain't clean. I think, since you are legally an adult in the state of Alabama, it is time for us to part ways. So the girl I was with at the time, she was like, you want to know something weird? Because that book is based on, all of them are pretty much based on my life one way or another. But the little girl Persephone is based on my daughter Phoenix. Naomi is my oldest daughter's middle name.
Wow.
The cover of the book is a picture that my baby girl drew of me, the girl I was with at the time, my oldest daughter, and her, and our cat. I turned it into a book cover.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Look at you.
Yeah.
Dropping nuggets.
Okay, so answer this. On the front of She Got Hops, who's that young lady with the basketball?
I don't know, but I think she fine.
It is. That's all that matters.
Because I was thinking, on part 3, you could put me up there with the basketball.
You know what?
This how you gonna
You could be Nico though.
The basketball right here?
I probably could.
Because her and Nico actually crossed paths in part 3.
And Nico casted? That's good stuff.
I act too, right? We both.
That's how we met. Everybody has been
met.
trying to get me to do a web series, and it's like, do y'all understand what my life looks like right now? I can screenwrite, yes. I can direct and produce, yes. But I also have a 9-year-old that drives me insane because she's a reincarnation of me. I have a 19-year-old who's still mad at me. I had 2 ex-husbands who are mad because I'm gay, even though they knew I was gay and they got me pregnant on purpose.
We're going to get back to that. Go ahead.
We're going to get back to that. Yeah.
Look, I'm stuck.
Yes. And then I've got this slew of women who don't know what they want and who they are that I intimidate the shit out of. And let me tell y'all something. I'm 5'2" tall and 130 pounds.
You 5'2"?
Really?
You're 5'2".
I'm 5'2".
Itty bitty thing.
I am tiny.
So are you standing up now or are you sitting down?
I'm sitting down.
I'm just kidding. I know that.
You know what?
And you answered.
Because I'm like, why she asking me that question?
She know where I'm at.
I'm just being a butthole. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
But yeah, I'm tiny. But I have a friend that's like 6 foot tall, and she's like, your spirit is like 7 feet tall, Joy. It just is. So it kind of intimidates people. So going back to 5 for dinner, the girl I was talking to at the time, Tamisha, she was like, babe, I need you to think about something. I said, what? She said, you remember when you wrote in 5 for dinner that Naomi snuck out to be with her boyfriend and she called her grandma, who her mom was estranged from? And I was like, yeah. She said, your life is Joi Miner novel. When I tell you, it happened almost the exact same way.
What? Wow.
See,
that's scary.
Yeah. And she told me recently, she was like, because I had another incident where a neighbor was, I think he had a psychological break, but like he ran up on me and he looked like a goddamn zombie. He was, I was walking that night and he ran up on me, he looked like a zombie. And she was like, you keep getting distracted. And anytime you get distracted, the shit that you put in your books manifests. Because I was writing turned out at the time.
Wow.
She was like, it manifests. Could you not? Because I don't need the world to fall apart. Because we're friends, we're trying to figure out what the hell we gonna do. You know how lesbians do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to y'all. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So she was like, could you just focus, please? Because now we don't need a zombie apocalypse, and you haven't finished Turned Out, and you're still writing about these mermaids, and we just don't need this shit to come to life.
Wow.
So, yeah, when I say my life is a Joi Miner novel, like, so
interesting.
You like one of those cartoons where whatever they draw, it jumps off the page like Jumanji or something like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I mean, I could see how it could be a little scary, but I mean, the power in it though, to be able to manifest everything that you create in your mind.
Girl, you better manifest me and you win that lottery. And her too.
You know what?
Manifest.
It is written.
Manifest.
It is written in the book.
I have to use my powers for good. So
that would be good. That would be very good.
I believe that everything that's meant to happen will happen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Look at y'all.
You had that one. So you want to be that?
I don't really have no response for that right now. I don't really have.
So, Joi, can you tell me and tell the audience, anybody else wants to be a writer or if they have any aspirations of writing, how did you, I know you said you want bed rest and you want to do something with yourself and that's how you started getting it out, but how did that start and what obstacles did you go through? Was it hard? I mean,
what I tell people, and they think I'm being so funny when I say it, but they say, well, do you have any advice for aspiring writers? Yes. Sit your ass down and write.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how did you get about publishing and stuff like that? Like, who'd you contact? I mean,
my first book, my first novel. I'm spoiled. I will say that the universe favors me quite a bit. I have a friend who had published books. I won copies of her books at a poetry reading I was performing at. Wow. And we became fast friends because I hit her up, girl, that shit was good. I love your stories, right? So we became friends. So I moved up here to Birmingham from Montgomery. That was 2014. Yeah, 2014. She called me in August. She said, what happened? Because I was writing, A Good Girl with Bad Habits. I was writing it, sending her chapters. Hey, what you think about this? Hey, what you think about that? And she said, that stuff you were sending me, what happened to it? I said, I just never finished it. And I started 8 years before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she was like, well, I just signed with this publisher. And if you finish this book by the end of this month, I'll publish it for you.
Get out.
Period.
Look at that favor ain't period.
Okay. That's right. That's right.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah.
I wrote that bitch in 30 days. I sat out on my porch with my headphones on. I still have the composition notebooks because I hand wrote it and then I typed it up. I don't do that anymore, but I used to because that was my first draft. I would write it and then you type it and you can edit it while you're typing it.
Yeah.
And then I would print it out and take it to Kinko's, get it printed out, bound at Kinko's with the cover on it. And I would go through it again with a red pen. And then when I was done and made the changes, that was when it was ready to publish.
Yes.
So it released.
You saying if you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. You got to be, if you an artist, if you a writer, if you whatever, you got to be able to produce. Yeah.
Just do it. Because my first, I can write 3,000 words an hour now. But I look back at my first post.
You see the look on my face? Like,
because I'm writing papers constantly and I'd be like, ooh, 7,000 words, Jesus.
I struggle on a 2-sentence email.
Bye. Listen.
Bye.
I be doing shorthand. See you later. I forget that I work and be trying to type like I'm texting on my phone. BRB.
Not BRB in the office.
Right. Well, yeah, WYA.
Wow. So just do it. Get the creating. Creatives, get the creating.
So did you have any? Was it hard, Joi, being? Okay, so you're a double minority. No, actually, you're a triple minority. So you're female, you're African American, and you're also. Are you bi or lesbian?
Where you on the spectrum?
I'm whole gay, lesbian.
Okay,
whole gay.
Okay.
Whole gay.
Whole gay.
Whole gay.
You're gay.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now I do know you write both straight novels and LGBT novels. Do you have any, I guess, hardship trying to get the LGBT novels published, or is it worse than getting the straight ones, or is it doesn't matter what's in the content?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the crazy thing. People are okay with having a little bit of gay sprinkled in their hetero novels. True. They're perfectly fine with that. But you'd be surprised how many straight people love gay fiction.
Oh, really?
And there is not a whole lot of LGBTQ, like Black lesbian fiction. Most of it is white, or most of it is man on man. You know, there's very little female on female Black lesbian fiction.
That is correct.
That is
so I found a niche. I found a hole and I slide my ass right on in there.
Come on, oil it up.
But no publishers wanted it. A Stud and Stilettos, my publisher, the publisher I had at the time, she did publish that one, and that's what made me a bestseller, believe it or not. And I had more straight readers for Stud and Stilettos than I had gay readers.
Wow. That's the thing. You really don't know your audience until you put it out there and then just who ride with it. Wow. And
then I had a publisher after her. God bless her soul, because she gonna need it. But she would not publish my gay fiction. So in that contract, I was like, well, I need to be able to publish my own paranormal and LGBTQ fiction. I have to. So I was just writing straight fiction for her, but able to publish my own stuff. But because she was, they had that fast turnaround, folks dropping three book series in a month. It's hard to write 3 books, have 2 kids, try and have a relationship, try and be a human being. I gotta brush my teeth and sleep and shit,
Right.
And then try and write my lesbian fiction, which is why it took so long for Hops 2 to come out.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah, but what I love, y'all waited on that one.
We did.
Y'all waited on that one.
Look, I even had to go back and read 1 again. Be like, make sure I don't miss nothing.
You gotta refresh
then I jumped into 2, and now I'm like, you got 3 coming up.
Come on. Come on. There's an itch.
Yes.
A recent situation was what was holding up 3. Like I said, the ex that I had that we trying to figure it out, it was her. And then met a girl, my friend pointed out, okay, so I don't know if y'all know who Nobody is, but in my books, like, she's my hacker. And that's her hacker's tag name, Nobody. So when they say, well, who did this or who you get this information from? Nobody. Okay, let me tell you, if you've read Stud and Stilettos 1 and 2, then Nobody was the one that was dating Hops. No, I'm sorry, she was dating Juice. Tatiana.
Okay.
Wow.
That's my hacker. She's dating Juice. She's my hacker.
Look at you.
Look at you. It's the connections. It's the interminglings for me.
Well, that I got from Eric Jerome Dickey, and he will forever be.
Eric Jerome Dickey books.
Yeah, he'll forever be in my heart, because I read Milk in My Coffee, then I read Friends and Lovers, and then I read Between Lovers, and I was like, oh, all these folks know each other.
Connected.
Yeah. So I was like paying homage forever to him for that. All of my characters either know each other, related to each other, know somebody who knows somebody. They all come together that way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of with the your characters know anybody, and giving shout outs to Eric Jerome Dickey. My first ever book that I read, you didn't read LGBT novels or anything like that back in my younger days. You didn't see that.
Right.
The first book I ever read was by Elin Harris. I can't believe it was his first one when Basil just got out of college. I can't remember the title of it, but I was like, when I finished reading it, I'm like, man, this is deep. I wish I could find some novels about me, people like me.
Not saying you old, but by the time I, came around in high school, it was Zane. Like Zane was what was popular.
Well, yeah, okay.
And I love
but then
her, but she's so straight. Oh,
exactly. So I couldn't connect with so much because by that time I knew I was a lesbian.
Yeah, because my friend was like, you have to read the Sisters of Alpha Phi Fuck 'em. So that was my first Zane book ever. And I read it and I was like, I do more than they did on a Saturday night. Like, yeah. So then when people got all up in arms, because like when you talk about Elin Harris, like he was very out and upfront and blatant with his gayness, and that was so rare. And even with Zane, like she touches on it, but it's still peppered, what I'm saying?
It is.
And that makes me think of 50 Shades of Grey and a previous conversation we had before we hit record. Because 50 Shades, just like the Zane books, they're written by a straight white housewife who had a fantasy of what BDSM life was.
That makes sense. I couldn't get into it. Even the books bored me. I mean, not even the books. Even the movie bored me to death.
Yeah,
I've never seen
Two
one
tears.
Straight to. I usually watch 30 minutes and I'm out.
Bored me to tears.
No, and I've never read them. But everybody that read them that I know that's in the culture came to me and was like, Joy, you're gonna get mad if you read this. So I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna waste my time. I'm not even gonna get upset. But they were like, yeah, BDSM. And my best guy friend and I, we talk about it all the time, share videos. We have the weirdest relationship. Because he's like, did you see this bondage video? No, I didn't. Send it to me. So, but yeah, it's I don't like when we're not represented properly.
Exactly. Yep.
And I had to tell one of my publishers, because she released a book and I proofed it for her, and she had this trans character in it. And I was like, baby, the gay community is gonna read you from here to there.
Right.
Filth.
Do not. And she released it anyway, and they read her ass in them reviews, because you can't be straight. You can't even be bi, honestly.
No.
And know what being gay, like full gay, is.
Absolutely
not to dismiss bisexuals at all, not to dismiss our allies at all. But if you ain't in it, you can't.
That's true.
It's impossible.
That's
like when
true.
I first fully came out, wasn't allowed to be gay when I was younger. Like I said, my kids' dads knew. They thought I was bi. I didn't want them, and they knew I didn't want them because I told them I didn't want them. I had no problem.
Beards. There go beards again.
But then you said they trapped.
Yeah, I only married them because I got pregnant. Again, I'm from Alabama.
Southern. Yeah.
Shotgun weddings are a real thing.
Yeah.
And my oldest daughter's dad will tell people now, like, he poked holes in the condom.
No, really? No. To try to trap you.
No. Which is why I don't drink anymore.
He did. Okay,
yeah.
He successfully. He did.
Which is why I don't drink anymore. Because I was in college. It was spring break. I got drunk, and next week I was pregnant. Or 2 weeks later I was pregnant. And it was like, oh shit. Because I'm an overachiever. When I got pregnant,
you went.
I went all in. I stopped. I stopped working pretty much. I worked from home so I could always be present for my children. That's why I work for myself. I created a life where I could be there for them all the time.
Yeah.
My oldest has been published in The Guardian. She's traveled the country. She's an international slam poet. Even with me putting her the hell out. Yeah, even with me putting her out and she's staying with my mom right now, she's got 2 jobs. You understand what I'm saying? She graduated from an IB high school. I'm a high school dropout. So when I tell you, I told her, baby, my work here is done. My work here is done. I got you to 19. I was pregnant with you at 19. I got you to 19, out of high school and not pregnant. Good job, mom.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. You did.
Kudos
to
you.
Mom. And my littlest one, I tell her all the like, baby, now listen, you are my clone, and that's the only reason that you're okay right now. She's my little shadow. My friends say all the time, raising yourself hard, ain't it? Yes.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Yes, it is. It's extremely difficult, but I have to deal with the things like, I'm lesbian. You meet 2 kinds of lesbians when you have children. You meet the ones that don't want no kids and want to completely exclude your child from the situation. And a lot of women allow that. I ain't one of them, because I just spent all this time on this one. I'll be damned if you finna come up in this house that I'm paying for her.
Yeah.
Because like you said, CPS. So I'm paying for this house for her.
Yeah.
You're finna come in here, use the internet, use the water, use the heat, the lights, the heat, the eat no food, and you don't want to acknowledge my child? You better go find somebody to play with, like a puppet dog.
Yeah.
If I put you in a book.
Okay. You finna see yourself out here.
Exactly as you are. Exactly as you are. Or they're the ones who want to be daddy. Listen, baby, I'm daddy and mama. Don't need that. We're both girls. When you take off your clothes and your strap, guess what you got? Guess what you got? Guess what you got? So, 2 moms, yes, but ain't no dad around here.
Oh my God. I'm weak.
We are not a heteronormative family, and I'm not gonna pretend to be one.
That's so accurate though. Like I can't hold you. Yeah. Wow.
So, which means that Joi is very, very alone, which is why her sex scenes are so explicit, because she fucks us up quite a bit.
They are very detailed, very, very much so.
But that's the thing. When you're reading, you want to be in, so it takes detail to be in.
Yeah, I have to go take a shower after reading her book. It's like, woo, that was good. Give me a cigarette.
You know what? People say that all the time, and it's like, imagine if I get hold of somebody.
Child,
just imagine.
They mind be towed.
Yeah, my studs.
Much imagination for one sex life. It's
my studs tell me all the time, you gotta stop turning these studs out, Joi. You gotta stop doing that.
Then you're gonna put them in the book.
Girl, and do
they're gonna go crazy and then go in the book.
Send them into existential crisis that you be trying to figure out what you are.
A writer.
Do I want to wear heels? Look, do I want to wear heels? Am I a stud?
Look.
Do I need to get a perm? Cause
not a perm.
I mean, she got some dresses in her closet. I could put them. Girl, when I tell you they lose lose sense of all identity, because normally they date straight women or bi women or super femmes. And I look like a super femme. I'm small, I'm petite, I wear my heels, I wear my dresses, I wear my skirts. I look like a super femme until I open my mouth.
Well,
Joi, you mentioned BDSM in some of your books. I noticed behind you, I'm looking correctly. I don't mean to be in your personal business or not, but can you slide over a little bit? Is there something behind that pillow? What's behind the pillow?
Let me see if I can pull the camera up for y'all.
It's behind the pillow, darling.
The pillow. And then go down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first we got the tongue. Lord Jesus, can you go down a little bit more? Let me see the bed. What's behind your bed? I just seen it. It's kind of. What is that? There it is. There it is. I knew it.
Bingo. Okay, so we have found the key.
Yes. That's what it is.
BDSM. Oh no, let me tell you about me in handcuffs. So took 4 years. My ex, or whatever the fuck we are, took 4 years to get her to strap me and handcuff me and choke me, because I'm little, so people think they're gonna hurt me. Right? But I'm asking for these things. So chances are, and I don't have a safe word.
So you say you don't need one.
I don't need one.
You know, we're gonna have to do a series on BDSM, because I'm not up to date with it. I mean, I know it's some freaky shit, but I would like to learn more. Just learn.
There are so many levels to it. And I'll tell you a story about a grocery store in a minute.
Okay.
But, okay. So she cuffed me finally and strapped me, right? And so first we started off, okay, I'm on my back. And then with the handcuffs still on, I'm completely cuffed to the bed. I turn over on my side and I was like, okay, now do it this way. And then with the cuffs still on, I turned around on my stomach and tooted my ass up. And she was like, have you come out those handcuffs? God, do what I'm telling you to do.
How did you turn around like that with your hands cuffed?
One, my wrists are small, and two, I'm double jointed.
Well, that explains it. That explains it. That's a special.
Yeah, so fold me up like a pretzel, no problem. Like I'm double jointed. So
Masquerade, huh? Masquerade.
Yeah.
And so she was hesitant.
Yeah, because she was like, well, I don't want to hurt you. And then I was like, no, she's one thing I learned about studs, I love them so much. I mean, y'all are my preference. Kathy, I love studs. However,
You gonna put me in the book?
We already had that conversation. You know what? Keep them glasses off. Oh, so she's a lady. She's a lady. Like I used to call myself. I still do. Like I call myself a bitch. I'm sophisticated ratchet as hell. Okay.
Hashtags sophisticated ratchet.
I came from the hood. Bust guns. Brass knuckles, all of that. I go to the club, I drink out of a beer bottle and I never throw it away because you never know when somebody gonna try you and you gotta crack their ass over the head. I'm hood as shit.
But I'm also,
okay.
Right.
We rocking stilettos, ho.
In your hand. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I keep the bottle in my hand. Thanks to I had a trifling friend that was always messing with other girls' boyfriends.
Oh, no.
So me and my homegirl would always
having to save her life.
I got that from. Yeah, because I was like, listen, if I gotta crack a bitch in the head with a bottle, I got my bottle. Like I didn't drink the little cute mixed drinks in the cup. Nah, baby, give me a Corona, candy Corona.
I can't do that with that cup.
I can't do that with that cup.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Right.
So me talking about myself, like when we first heard that she's light skinned, whole thing. So I said something and I called myself a bitch. And she turned red. And I was like, you okay, darling? She was like, you just called yourself? I was like, yeah. And at some point I'd like it if you did that too. When we're naked, of course. But, and if I'm being a bitch, you can call me one. It's fine. I know you're not saying I'm a bitch every day, but if I'm being one,
the moment, if the shoe fits.
And it's a word. Okay. So we're trying to get back to the BDSM thing. I had to buy this. Well, I'm still, this paddle because she refuses to this day to call me that. So I had to buy this paddle that has the word bitch. It's a leather paddle and it has the word bitch etched in it. So she can use that. But like I said, there are levels to it. And believe it or not, you can buy it on Amazon. But
But that makes sense. Making sure that you and your partner can come to some type of understanding.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But people that don't know about the culture know very little. And it's funny because, like I said, I'm small. And I keep saying that because it's been a theme in my life. I'm little. I know I'm little. You ain't got to tell me I'm little.
Right.
So recently, like I was talking about nobody. So I met a girl who reminded my friend of nobody when I described her. In case y'all don't know, Hops is my perfect woman. Hops is bae for me. Like Hops is my perfect woman. So when I was describing this other girl I met, she was like, she sounds like Hops. She said, how does it feel to finally meet your perfect woman? And I was like, I mean, it's cool, I guess. And she really did. Like, I'm not submissive, but when I was in her presence, I was voluntarily like just submissive, didn't have to try. But a statement was made and she was like, well, you're small. And like, when I say 6'3", big old, she's big old girl, ball player, everything. And she made the statement, the statement was made that she was worried about breaking me or hurting me if we were intimate. And I told this to a friend and my friend laughed till she cried. She's like, pissy, Joy. She don't know you, does she? She can't know you. She was like, I know you. Ain't gonna, she said, if anything, you gonna have her legs behind her head. And I was like,
them some long legs.
I've got the video we just watched though.
Bye.
Yes, video.
Yeah, I'll have to show it to you off camera.
Okay.
It's a funny video, church video.
She's right. Church video. This is when you bring up church video.
Yeah, but it's just funny because of the culture that I'm a part of, because of my pain tolerance. I had both of my children natural, no epidural.
Oh, wow.
I slept through my contractions. The nurse would come in and say, you're having a contraction. And I would open my eyes and look and say, oh, okay. and go back to sleep.
That's a good.
I was more upset about not being able to eat muscadines.
Why can't you eat muscadines?
Well, after you go into full labor, you can't eat anything because it's going to make you throw up. You're having contractions, so everything is gonna come back.
That's true. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I even made that joke. I was like, I pushed 2 big head, almost 8-pound children out, and somebody think they gonna hurt me. I gained 60 pounds with my first child and 80 pounds with my second.
Whoa.
So. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was no. We was just
okay.
We still listening to the amazing.
Yeah. I'm like nature. Good Lord, is that natural? Is that
my pain tolerance? I had E. coli in my kidney. They gave me morphine for like 2 days. I didn't take it anymore. I had brain surgery a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, I had an aneurysm rupture. My oldest actually got me to the hospital in time, and I had to have emergency brain surgery.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
I would never known that.
Of course not. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So that a lot of life happened in between them books.
I ain't lying.
And that's the crazy thing, because that was the first time when y'all talk about y'all can see my books. Me too. I tell people I don't come up with this shit. I don't. My characters talk to me. They really do. And I see it and they tell me what to write. And if I don't, they stop talking to me.
Yeah.
They got attitude.
Wait. So are you actively, I know you mentioned since what you have in the girls and all that, are you like actively dating, or are you just kind of seeing what's out there, who catching interest?
Where your hops at?
Right.
I'm getting to know women. I came out in 2017. I'm a serial monogamist. And I had this really bad habit of, well, it wasn't even me, because here's something I learned. My first lesbian party. Let me tell y'all about my first lesbian party. Okay. So, in the hetero world, if a man is attracted to a woman, he comes up to her and he says something to her, right? Because men are the hunters. I went to my first lesbian party, dolled up, cute miniskirt, crop top, sitting. I got a beer because that's my outing drink.
Right.
Sat down and watched everything that was happening. So I see these femmes. 1, they're half naked. 2, they're the ones pursuing the studs. And you could cue the damn Twilight Zone music, because I was like, what is this?
Whole new world.
What is this? And my ex, and she's one of my best friends, my Nebe. She's one of those people that's just not, she's never going anywhere. So anybody I'm dating, you got a problem with Nebe, you got a problem with me. Because we don't want each other. We broke up in 2013. She don't want me, I don't want her, but she's one of them that's like, now you know you wrong. Okay. One of those friends.
You got to have an honest one. Yeah.
So I called her. I was like, Nebe. And I'm whispering, and she's cracking up because she's like, I can't hear you. I hear club music. Step outside. She's from New Orleans, so she got that accent. Then you hear my accent. Sex with us was real fun because it just sounded like the French. It was, But she was like, step outside. So I stepped outside. I was like, Nebe, it's weird. And she's like, what's weird? I was like, the girly girls are chasing the tomboys. And she's like, you're at a gay party. And I was like, yeah. She said, okay, let me tell you how this works. She was like, the studs are normally the ones that are pursued, and the femmes are the ones that pursue them. I said, is that why they were looking at me like I was crazy sitting there watching the basketball game?
What you waiting for? Who you like in the room?
Yeah, because with me, I was like, okay, I see you. You see me, I see you seeing me, and you see me seeing you, but you waiting on me to say something? Girl, let me go watch this game.
Now let me go watch this game. Stud and stiletto.
What I'm not going to do now, I don't mind being the aggressor. It's unattractive to me for a stud to approach me because I know that they're the ones that have that heteronormative, I'm the man, I'm the dominant one. And we gonna butt heads like rams. We gonna butt heads. One girl told me at a party, she was like, you're just not feminine enough for me. And I was like, okay.
Fair enough.
That was supposed to offend me because she was like, well, I mean, but looking at you, because my friends tell me that, like, looking at you, you look like all lace and rainbows and, you know, cotton, and then you open your mouth. You open your mouth. And when she said it, I said, okay. And she was like, that didn't offend you? I was like, no. The fact that you wanted me to be is the problem. Because that means that you're not comfortable in who you are enough to say we're both women. Because baby, you bleed once a month just like I do. And when you had them cramps, you're going to be in pain and want to lay your head in my lap and me rub your stomach. So you can miss me with that.
Miss me, right?
But it's okay. Wow. So it's been weird for me because people look at me and they think I'm this girl.
Wow. Okay?
Wow. I'm a woman, whole woman. Never said I was a girl. Never said I was a lady. Never said any of that.
Never said I was a lady, to be clear. Right.
No, I call studs ladies in boy clothes camouflage.
Yeah, because I'm still females, no matter what. We all still bleeding every month.
And that's the thing that I think, like, these straight women and bi women that get with studs, they expect them to be super dominant and super masculine. And it's hilarious to me because then they go back to men because you realize you were dealing with a whole
It was still
girl.
A female.
It's a female, yeah. We just
and she's gonna cry and she's gonna have feelings, and y'all might be watching a rom-com and she's in tears because she just wants a love like that in her life, and why don't you love her like that?
God, these are some emotional studs. These are some emotional studs.
These are some women.
Well, yeah, that's true. See, me, I'm somewhere because I grew up with all boys though. So even though I looked like a female, I more can identify with your experience. But then as I got older, I'm somewhere in between as far as dressing. I would say androgynous. Like I'll be in a suit, maybe. I'll be in some tighter pants, maybe. I ain't wearing no skirt. It's not happening. Period.
I have legs for the gods, made by the gods. So I wear skirts.
You got to pull them things out.
I got the legs. That's why nobody thinks I'm 5'2", because I got like 6 inches worth of legs, like 6 feet worth of legs. Like I have a short torso, but I'm all legs.
Okay. What is this? Look, the head shape.
I'm just thinking about some of the stories in the books, and I'm just amazed. It's coming together. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay.
That's fun.
The characters are normally based on me or my friend, like Side Piece Chronicles. My best friend, one of my best girlfriends, she was dating this married guy. He was also sleeping with his business partner and her. So she would call me because it was always some drama. And she'd be like, bitch, let me tell you. And I'd be like, what happened on the Side Piece Chronicles today? So that's where that book came from, like that series. And 90% of what happened in that story, actually, like I watched it happen.
Wow.
Right in front of me. It happened.